Winners don't use drugs.
Hey. Holy shit, it's been 3 months? 3 months. January, February, March. Oh,
Welcome back,
4 months?
dude.
What's up, Tommy? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? Welcome back.
Yeah. It's good to be back. It's good to. I love how StreamYard fixed itself.
You know what? Weirder things have happened.
Oh yeah.
It's like a ghost in the machine type of thing.
Almost like StreamYard's had a grudge against me for a month, and then it forgot about the grudge. It was just decided like, oh, I'm not mad at you anymore.
Sounds like an ex-girlfriend.
How you been?
Moved. I've been all right. Just chilling, dealing with the pigs and their nonsense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm back with another fucking weird ass movie.
I don't even think weird begins to encapsulate this movie. I mean, if you had to write a synopsis for this movie, it would be action horror meets comedy written by somebody who was dyslexic.
Yeah, it also had musical numbers. It had musical numbers.
You know what? I guess it could have been worse with the musical numbers. It could have went like full on Rocky Horror Picture Show or something like that. But
it kind of did remind me a bit. It was kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show in the desert type. The way they were all acting like idiots. They were all. Everyone in this movie was acting like an idiot, except the black guy, Cy Richardson. All right, the movie's Straight to Hell. The movie is called Straight to Hell, everybody, from 1987.
And re-released in, what was that, 2010 as Straight to Hell Returns. And the same movie, just with added footage that is basically a director's cut.
By the same guy who brought us Repo Man.
Yep.
Alex Cox. This guy must have really loved his drugs back in the 80s.
I think it was pretty obvious in the way that he wrote the script. Or failed to write the script, as it were.
All right, so remember what I was saying before we watched before we went live, when I was looking it up about how this movie was, or why this movie was made.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get a lot of musical acts in this movie. We get Joe Strummer as the leader of the idiot bank robbers. They're idiots too. Did you see all that fucking money they dropped?
Dropped everywhere. Like every time they went into the money, they were dropping it.
But they come out of the bank and they drop half of what they stole. Darius, what's good, man?
What up,
We're
Darius?
going to watch the movie, man. There's always next week.
Hey, there's always time to torture yourself later with this one. Don't miss out on that.
Yeah, I did send him the movie. Yes, this movie's on Tubi, by the way.
Yeah, man, watch it for free on Tubi. Tubi's like the best site if you ever want to watch movies for free. I mean, okay, you got commercials, but you're getting it for free. It's like the old days when you were watching regular broadcast TV.
My only problem is they do it at very bad points of the movie.
I know. You think that they would time some of those better? Because I've actually seen where, just say a show or a movie actually has a legitimate break in it where they probably could have put the damn commercial, and then 2 or 3 seconds after that break ends, when they get into the next set of dialogues, when they hit you with a commercial.
Yeah, they do it mid-scene sometimes. It's crazy. But yeah, this is also a movie that I think you could, benefit from having a couple commercial breaks from, because some of the dialogue in this movie is just...
You need a moment to process what you think might have happened.
Seriously, like, what's going on? So, all right, the whole story with the other guy, the one who they hit in the head with the rock and they hang him, the one who shows up at the end.
Yeah, the one for Mr. Dade.
Yeah, all right. So this is the guy they were supposed to meet in the beginning, right? where they
Mm-hmm.
were talking about hotel checkout time. Oh yes, Courtney Love is in this too. Everybody.
No, yeah, and I went into this one totally blind. I didn't look up the actors, nothing beforehand. And I get in there and I was like, God, that looks like a very bloated Courtney Love. And then all of a sudden the names start flashing on the screen, and it's this Courtney Love, and I some bitch.
Happy birthday to your mom, Darius.
Happy birthday. And many more.
Happy mom's birthday. All right, so the bank robber, the lead, I would say he's the leader, right? Joe Strummer. Joe Strummer from The Clash, everybody, the star of the movie, basically. I'd say he's the star of the movie. Seemed to have the most screen time.
Yeah, between him and Cy. Yeah.
Yes, there are many recycled people from Repo Man. Cy Richardson is one of them.
Oh God, what was the other chick's name? I just mentioned it earlier.
Oh, the brown-haired girl. Yeah, I forgot her name already.
Yeah, so did I. Anyway, yeah, she was in Repo Man too, and she was in a few other movies. She's turned up a few places, and I'm pretty sure I've seen her in some B-rated horror slashers.
I know I've definitely seen The Tall Cop, and definitely seen the shop owner.
Definitely, yeah, a bunch of at least westerns and stuff like that. I know I've seen the one guy, but I do recall the taller cop, the real dirty one. I do recall him being like a military guy in some other movie.
Darius, are you inferring that Courtney Love had something to do with somebody's quote unquote suicide?
It is a conspiracy.
Yeah, I know. Repo Man was killer. Yeah, Repo Man was better than this. I would say Repo Man was better than this.
Oh yeah, definitely. It actually made a lot more sense.
It really went for weird with this one. I mean, I know they did with Repo Man too, but just going into musical numbers is just.
And you know, even before the musical numbers start, everything just seems so disjointed about this film. I mean, everything. It's like completely like, okay, what are you going for? Like the minute they arrive into this town and that weird kid is coming up talking.
Oh man. Oh
like
man.
that is just so like out of left field that it doesn't seem to fit with whatever they were trying to build up in the beginning.
I was hoping someone would have shot that kid.
I was kind of hoping their pickup truck was going to blow up at the end.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know. I'm glad at least one person. All right, spoiler: one person makes it out alive. Oh, all right. Well, I didn't hire any private investigator to,
Well, you know what, Darius? Don't worry about it. I'm on top of the case, and there's no need to be a slack jaw bundle of sticks about it. I'm pretty sure it's not a conspiracy, but it is a conspiracy. If you gets what I'm saying.
What's good, Bone? How you doing, brother?
What up, Bone?
Back with shitty movies. Dark. Oh, maybe I should do that one day. The documentary they have about that, where they actually talk to the private investigator.
There's a lot of those things out there. Absolutely.
You ever saw that one, Soaked in Bleach?
I've seen a bunch of them. I don't recall the titles, so it's kind of like those the wrestling ones.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've seen an ass ton of those things, and I couldn't tell you which ones I've seen. I just, once I know who the characters were that were involved, like, who's narrating or whatever, what exactly they're talking about. Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Otherwise, I can't remember the titles.
She was in Sid and Nancy, too. Courtney Love.
Yep. Which I used to have a review for that up on my channel. And them some bitches, they struck it down.
So she was poking her nose around for Hollywood a while before she was even famous.
Well, isn't that how he ran into her? She was doing like B-rated movies and stuff like that.
Probably. I mean, I I know this weird fact. She was at one point lead singer for Faith No More. I don't know how long, but she was at one point lead singer for Faith No More.
That just
So I guess
sounds
she,
horrifying.
yeah, it does. Especially knowing how much I love Faith No More. I never want to hear a Courtney Love sung, anything sung by Courtney Love involving Faith No More. That would give me a heart attack.
Ugh. She always, I don't know what it is about her, but she just always reminded me of some dirty trash can girl.
Yeah,
She reminds me of the female version of Trash Can Man from The Stand. I don't know what it is, but that's what she reminds me of.
she's the type of girl you get itchy just looking at.
Oh my God, did you see that girl? Oh, I need to go take a shower.
Plus, remember her like all the time. You had pictures of her and shit. Like because she was like ghost white. So like every time they would have pictures of her and shit in like these glamorous dresses. Like remember when she was trying to conquer Hollywood? She'd have all these fucking bruises on her arm. Like, what were you arm wrestling the night before?
I remember when she was trying to conquer everything. Oh God, yeah, one air sickness bag at a time. She was trying to work at it. What's up, Sentinel?
It's good, Sentinel. How you doing, brother?
When you're talking about this movie though, when they get into the town and like how it goes from that weird freaking kid to all of a sudden it goes down, it goes to the showdown between those. I guess you would call them the town banditos.
Yeah, first we get the introduction of the banditos. We get the they're just the bank robbers are now just the bank robbers plus Courtney Love because she's pregnant with the fucking black guy from Repo Man's kid. And he's even saying before when they're drinking the night before, he's like, if she wasn't having my kid, I'd have left her ass. And they're all laughing in her face. So that right, they come the banditos come storming into town in their jeeps. They're dragging a dead body, right? Aren't they dragging a dead body with a motorcycle attached to it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're dragging the motorcycle, and the dead body's actually attached to the motorcycle that they're dragging.
And then they're taking these fucking espresso machines out of the back of the pickup truck.
Oh yeah, this needs to be said real quick. This town has a drinking problem, but their drinking problem is coffee.
That you think, yeah. He even says it too. Fucking Cy Richardson, coffee. You look like a bunch of coffee addicts. That reminded me of that part from Back to the Future. I don't want to mess with no reefer addicts.
No, Sentinel, we were talking about Courtney Love getting knocked up for leverage. Oh
yeah, that shit was so stupid. Yeah, her acting is god awful in this too. Her screaming and bitching. Oh my god.
Oh God! When she starts singing that, or I'm sorry, bansheeing that one number. I remember I was sitting there watching my brother, and we both kind of stopped. I paused it, and we just looked at each other, and it was kind of like that Degeneration X moment where you both just like, boom, boom, like, oh Jesus, what the hell did we just watch?
All right. So the bank robbers decide. Remember, like, right when they decide to just confront the fucking coffee addicts. The coffee. I can't believe I'm so fucking referring to them.
The coffeeholics.
So, right when they go walking up to go into the bar in front of the coffee addicts, you notice fucking the black guy puts a shower cap on.
Yeah, like this is what I mean about this written by somebody who was dyslexic or something, because there were so many parts like that that just absolutely didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, for some reason he puts a shower cap on, and then they go into the bar. So two of the coffee addicts go in and try to fuck with them. The coffee addicts. Oh my god. Alright, I gotta stop calling them the coffee addicts. Did they have a name for this fucking gang? I gotta look this up now.
I don't know if they ever mentioned a name for it.
No, I don't think they did.
I say Coffeeholics is just perfect.
When I first saw this, alright, I saw this like probably like 10 years ago. I don't know how I found it, but I watched it like 10 years
And you've been trying to forget about it ever since.
It's a repressed memory that I'm drudging up right now. I was just referring to them as the white banditos. They're dressed like a bunch of fucking Mexican banditos.
So we have the showdown with them against the bank robbers, and then
it goes out into the street.
And then whoever it is, the other people show up. Now I don't know who
That
those
was
people
the
were sent
thing
by.
that I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like this guy.
Were they cops?
Yeah, that's what they just came from out. They look like characters from an episode of fucking Magnum PI or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they just take the two banditos at gunpoint while the rest of the bandito gang is watching this. And then Courtney Love, for some reason, comes running up screaming, save my baby, from out of nowhere. Really horribly acted, too. And then when she falls down, the bank robbers decide to kill the guys who have the coffee addict gang at gunpoint. What was that for? That was another thing I was like, this makes no fucking sense.
And then you get that one guy who with the stupid laugh when the rest of the coffeeholics pull up.
The fat guy?
No, the one dirty, skinny white guy kept laughing constantly. Like, what the hell?
Oh, in the bandito costume?
Yeah.
Yeah, was this the fucking poet? This was the idiot who kept trying
yes,
to
he was the poet. Yep.
I like.
Well, I'm sure in reality,
his last poem was his best poem.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure in reality, Darius, she probably did.
Oh, there is a point where she is banging members of the bandito gang. Remember, she comes walking out with the probably the tallest guy of the bandito gang.
Yeah.
What's up, Stony One?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Man, she definitely banged the poet. He might be on MTV someday.
Well, no, people kept rejecting the poet. Every time the poet wanted to read a poem, people were like looking at him, and they walked away.
Except at the end of the movie. And even then, he still never had a chance to read it.
Yeah, that's why it was his best poem. All right, to me, that guy looked like the fucking. He looked like the one gay dude from Kids in the Hall. Fucking Scott Thompson. He looked like him.
So after they gunned down these, I guess, undercover cops or whatever they were, the rest of the bandito gang rolls up, including what is essentially their leader, and they proclaim the strangers as being under their protection and allowed to stay in the town. Because up until that point, anybody who comes into this town, if they're a stranger, the coffeeholic bandito gang murders them.
Oh, we also forgot to mention before they hit the town, after getting out of their broken ass car, walking through the desert, they decided to bury not all of the money because they're
But
still walking around town flashing money, but
right, they bury most of the money.
they buried the one case they got away with because they came out with 2 cases full of money, dropped an entire fucking wind, taking it all the way up the block.
Like,
Darius said called it about her banging the banditos.
right. Well, here's another funny thing. I'm pretty sure you noticed that. Did you notice there's a whole bunch of those stupid little red cars? Like,
Yeah, they keep.
did they
And you notice they keep saying it too. Like that car looks just like ours. Did you notice? Did you notice they said
Yeah.
that like 3 times?
Yep. Wonder if they had gotten like a deal out of like a used junk lot
Yeah.
or something like that for all those cars, because every car in this damn show keeps breaking down too.
Yeah, every time they go through the desert, it stops and someone goes, "What's wrong with this damn car?"
Yeah, I think that was legit.
It looked like it could be legit. Yeah, I've had friends who have had cars in that condition. So they're now kind of like heroes in the town because they helped 2 banditos away from whatever the fuck those guys were. There were what, like 3 or 4 of them. There weren't even that many of them.
I think there might have been like 4, maybe even 5, something like that.
Yeah, there wasn't that many of them compared to the bandito gang, the coffee gang.
No, I'm talking about the cop guys that came up.
Oh, the cops, not the guys who held them at gunpoint.
Right. The cop guys
saying,
that had the 2 banditos at gunpoint. Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Were they cops? Because that main guy, he was wearing like some weird like white guy on a Caribbean island hat.
I mean, not unless they were somebody had gotten driven out of town before, maybe.
I also want to know why the bank robbers killed those guys. Why did they kill them over the banditos? I guess because there was more banditos and they had to stay in the bandito town.
I don't think there was a rhyme or reason to why it happened.
I think I'm so I'm like looking too deep into it. I think I'll stop.
And then of course you get that weird leader in his white suit. Why is it like every leader in every one of these B-rated movies got to be in a white suit with a white hat?
He was like the boss hog of this fucking desert town. Oh, and he had the old father too. There was the remember there's the murder mystery at the end. The very stupid murder mystery at the end.
Well, before that even happened, you have him. What was that? Strummer messing with the store owner's wife.
The shopkeeper owner. The shopkeeper's wife.
And that was like the weirdest like necking scene I think I've ever seen, because I don't think I've ever seen a necking scene before where they're drawing blood and everything.
There's blood on both of them.
Like, I thought for a minute they were going to lead into a vampire tale on top of everything else that they were already doing, because at that juncture, it wouldn't have surprised me at all.
I gotta say, though, that scene had me cracking up. I was actually laughing my ass off at that fucking scene.
Oh, hurry up, George. Go get the nails.
That reminded me of something from a fucking 80s sitcom. But I also like, as soon as Joe Strummer walks in, the guy's pissed off. The guy's gritting his teeth like, "Can I help you?" So, yeah, she's in love with him, and they keep sending him out of the room. Every time they send him out of the room, they jump on each other. They're biting each other.
Oh, there's a later on scene, too. Remember where they're trying to meet in secret, and one of the bandito coffeeholics. What are you guys doing? I got bit by a snake. And then she just pops out like, what's she doing there? She's trying to suck the poison out.
Oh, okay. Then he walks away. Yeah, it had its funny moments.
No, there was definitely some hysterical moments in there, but unfortunately, it's peppered around so much of what the hell is going on that you actually need to laugh at that point because you're so confused about the rest of this storyline. It is
Like,
not
yeah, so
following
far,
anything.
it was almost, yeah. It was kind of like, all right, you know how in From Dusk Till Dawn start out with robbers, and then all of a sudden it goes into Vampire Town. It's kind of similar, right?
But that's where the similarities end.
Yeah. I'll take From Dusk Till Dawn over this movie any day of the fucking week, bro. The poor hot dog guy. The banditos have a hot dog guy who runs around like a doofus in his hot dog cart that they bully, and they hold him at gunpoint and make him sing.
Well, even they were kind of abusing him a little bit too. What wasn't it? Strummer was kicking him.
Wait, was he kicking? Oh wait, he knocked over his cart. He said, "Don't fucking talk to me ever again." He knocked over his cart. Or maybe he did kick him, but I know he definitely fucking tossed his cart over onto the floor. Well, I also like what they do when he wants to fucking come work for them.
Yeah, he just start blasting, pow, pow, pow.
You kind of deserved it, you fucking moron.
And what about that one scene, like right in the middle, where they have the oh god, claymation
Yeah,
animated
the
whatever
rape rat.
skeletal coyote?
Yeah, yeah. They get like the what was that shit that they had was it Jason and the Argonauts where they had the skeletons like that?
Yeah, they were. I'm pretty sure they were like claymation.
Just out of the blue too. It was all right. I mean, it didn't. Not that it added anything to the story.
It was just more of a what the hell really is going on here moment. Like, 'cause yeah, it really. I'm telling you, dyslexic. Somebody, the guy who wrote this, that Cox guy, dyslexic as hell.
All right, so they're about town now. They're fucking hanging out with the crazy fucking coffee gang, and they're flashing what money they have left with them. And one of the idiots accidentally spills the beans that they fucking buried the money in the desert. So the rest of the movie, we get people trying to fucking, the women especially, are trying to seduce the fucking guys into showing them where the money is.
Now, at some point, somebody spills coffee beans on the ground. You remember that?
No, I don't.
Somebody spills coffee beans on the ground and they automatically execute them.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was one scene. Yes, somebody had spilled coffee grinds or coffee beans on the ground, and they just shot him dead.
Damn, how come I don't remember that? Maybe my mind was being blown by everything else going on.
Like I said, there was a lot going on that made absolutely no sense, and that was just one more scene. I mean, the only reason that kind of makes sense is it leans into that these people are a bunch of coffeeholics. So
I like how
yeah.
the guy even he says to them when they first confront the coffee guy, "You look like a bunch of coffee addicts to me." Coffee addicts. That guy was probably the best actor in the movie because he didn't really say much. That guy did a lot of acting just with his fucking face. That guy was looking at everybody like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You
And then
notice when they were making the hot dog kid sing at gunpoint, he's just standing there. He's sitting there at the table looking at everybody like they're insane. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
no, I was just going to say that that whole scene was very weird too. Like the way they had it all set up, almost like kind of like a Last Supper scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
the table. The
yeah,
table.
everybody's behind the table and people are standing behind the people sitting at the table like a Last Supper scene. It was just so freaking weird. The whole entire thing.
I like how like they're also shooting their guns in the air along with the beat. You notice that whole song? It's like I catch up, and it's all set. They keep shooting in the fucking air. And when they're walking away doing the conga line at the end, they're still
And,
shooting.
and every time they shoot, he flinches. The hot dog kid.
Yeah. All right, so then yeah, Courtney Love starts hoeing around. They keep talking about like the banditos keep like asking him about Courtney Love, and he's getting this pissed off look on his face. Although he has a pissed off look on his face throughout the whole movie.
Probably because his shower cap was too tight.
He didn't put the shower cap on at the end.
No, I know. What was up with that?
You
And
would
what
think,
was and
you
what
would
was up
think
with
when
all
they
the guns?
yeah
What
when they
was up?
yeah how they can't use them, how they're fucking completely stupid when it comes to using those fucking high tech weapons.
Well, all except Holden or Holden was his name, I think. Size
Cy
name.
Richardson?
Yeah. Well, he was able to use that one machine gun,
Yeah.
and for some reason, the shopkeeper had the M60.
But the first two couldn't use their fucking guns.
Yeah, they kept jamming up.
Guns that Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper's in this movie.
And Grace Jones.
Dennis Hopper and Grace Jones just walk into town and hand them like 2 suitcases full of guns, or was it 1 suitcase full of guns?
It was one big giant suitcase full of guns.
And then they disappear.
But you know why? I mean, that was the only thing about the story that made sense. Because he wanted them to wipe out all the coffee-holic banditos so he could take over the town and bring in 7-Elevens and this, that, because he says it.
He says there can only be one leader in this town, right?
Yep.
Doesn't he say something like that to them? There can only be one boss in this town or something?
Yep.
Norwood was his name, by the way. I'm looking it up.
Norwood, that's it.
And Joe Strummer was Sims. The other idiot bank robber is Willie. And Courtney Skank is Velma. Okay, so all right, and now that I'm looking at the names, they're the McMahon family. What a surprise that McMahons are a bunch of tyrants. The preacher too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other funny scene is the thing with the grandfather or father, as you would.
Oh, when he gets fucking clunked on the head and falls off the balcony.
Yeah. Presumed to be
the murder mystery.
Yeah, presumed to be dead. So then they have a big mass gathering, and they bring him up to bury him. And after they bury him, the one preacher guy saying the final resting, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden, Grandpa ain't dead, and his arm starts coming out of the grave. So then they all start shooting.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Now that I'm thinking about it, is the guy who spilled coffee beans the one they pulled out of his car and killed?
Yes.
That's the one that they pulled out of the car. Well, yeah. Okay, now I'm remembering the guy they killed.
Damn strangers. Spilling our coffee beans.
So what part are we at now?
Well, or technically, are we still at the grandpa part, or are we moving past that part?
Yeah, we'll go from the murder mystery where they start interrogating people. Remember, they start interrogating everybody in the town.
Yeah.
The girl who killed him, by the way, she's no one's interrogating her.
Well, I think that's a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny is the one girl's like, it's so strange because she's sitting there with a Strummer. Was it Strummer or the other guy? Wait a minute. Well, she's sitting there with the one guy, and she's like, I sure hope that isn't my grandfather.
Well, I'm sure that guy was a lot of people's grandfather in that town.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm sure there was also a lot of inbreeding going on.
Yeah, think? That explains that kid.
That kid who ran up to Courtney Love, yeah. That kid in the beginning, that definitely explains him.
He was him and the other guy were the Undertakers. Like he could have fit right in a Mad Max movie. So after that, they wind up shooting Grandpop in the grave, and then when they come back to town, that's when they have the other guy roll up, the one who works for Dade.
The one who works for Dade, and they have him ready to be lynched, and he starts. You saw he was actually starting to get through to them when he like they were actually gonna like listen to him, but then we have Joe Strummer and the other guy Willie. They're in the background and they fucking peg him in the head with a rock. So the fucking rope automatically, he just drops onto the rope and then, all right. So that was the guy they were supposed to meet in the beginning, right? When they fucked up the original robbery.
I think they were supposed to meet with him, or they were supposed to meet with Dade himself. I can't remember because when Dade's name is actually mentioned, they all look at each other.
Well, they see the later on a license plate too when they pull up. When Dade himself pulls up.
But there was one other funny thing. So when they hit him with the rock and the bike takes off, did you hear what the one guy said? That's what you get for murdering our grandpa.
No, I didn't hear that.
yeah. One of them, that's what you get for murdering our grandpa.
No, this movie, it's too goofy to be that way, though. It's too goofy to be that way, Darius. See, if you want a movie with that description, watch Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. That's that type of movie. This movie is too goofy.
Terrifier would make you want to take a shower.
I'd call this a goofy movie, right?
It's definitely, I would say, for as much as they tout this as a horror comedy or a horror action, it's more horror comedy.
I wouldn't call this horror at all.
Well, that's what they have it listed as, though. I mean, yeah, they got it listed as horror action comedy.
See, I would call this action comedy. Yeah, Darius, Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. Watch that movie. That's one of the sleaziest fucking movies ever made. Okay, so, alright, alright, I guess we should get into the war with the Banditos now that they decide to go to war with the Banditos?
Yeah. So Dale pulls up. And they know it's Dale. They see his license plate, and they're all looking at each other. And then Dale gets out. So obviously, this is Dennis Hopper coming out with Grace Jones, and they have a little back and forth. And they're being kind of like, I would say they're being a little obstinate with him at first, until he opens a case, and then he starts telling me, I can envision this town being something 7-Elevens and this type of business and that, and hotels and all this other stuff he's talking about, and then when you come up with that line, there couldn't be only one boss. And then Grace Jones tells him, well, don't forget the case. So then he opens the case, puts it down on the table, and they leave. And that's basically it.
They
And
don't
then
just leave. They don't just leave. They Batman leave, where you turn away for a second and then they're gone.
yep.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper's awesome. Dennis Hopper, anytime he pops up in a movie, I mean, fuck that Super Mario Brothers movie, that first Super Mario Brothers movie. I didn't see the new one, but
I keep hearing it's supposed to be good, but I was never huge on
what, the
Mario
new one?
Brothers to begin with. Yeah, I've heard the new one is really good from a lot of people, but I was never huge with Super Mario to begin
Did
with.
you see that first one, bro? Bob Hoskins, bro. Did you see that movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No one can tell me that that's a actual good movie and be serious. That shit was fucking horrendous. That was something that video game movies might have never like been able to recover from. They're lucky they were still able to make video game movies after that
but you know what? There was a slew of those bad movies in the '80s,
one.
including this one.
Not, not just the 80s, but yeah, not just the 80s. So, why did they decide to go to war with the Banditos? Was it because the Banditos were running trains on Courtney Love, or was it because of that pep talk from Dennis Hopper?
I think it was because of whatever Dale, what Dennis Hopper says to him. Because that's really what kicks it off, and they decide, okay, let's do this. And they each grab guns, and it's like they're already committed to doing without any kind of real reasoning behind it, other than this was the guy that they missed for their earlier appointment before he checked out. Which is still kind of odd because when they first broke into the hotel room in the beginning of the film, they're shooting at the bed.
Yeah, that made me think that like at first when I first saw this movie and that when I saw that happen, I was like, is the guy hiding under the bed? But no, they just cut away to the next scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. I'm not gonna lie.
I would say people need to watch the ridiculousness of this just once to understand exactly how hard it is to talk about this movie.
Yeah, it really is. It's like you have to kind of like wrap your head around what the previous scene was, especially when it jumps to the next scene.
I like cheese. See, just doing something random like that makes about as much sense as this movie.
Then again, Repo Man did kind of have that same fucking thing, man.
It did to a small degree, but nothing like this. Nothing, not nowhere near as bad as this one did.
Well, that's also because the years went on and the director had more time to take more drugs and, you know, and really, really craft his writing skill.
More like he burned that thing to the ground. I mean, the only thing that could have made this even more ridiculous is if he would have put it together like Pulp Fiction, out of order.
Oh my god!
Actually, you know what? It might have actually made more sense.
So we get reverse of the cars breaking down in the desert.
Yes.
Also, I want to know what that meant at the end when the car broke down in the desert the second time, and it's now Cy Richardson, and it was like all the girls from the Bandito gang, right?
Yeah, and the shopkeeper's wife.
So does that mean that they now have to fucking like? What were they doing anyway? Were they going to a new town? I don't know what the fuck is going on in this movie.
That's the part that didn't. You almost want to think that that's what they're doing, but who knows? Because everything else about this movie didn't have any kind of like reasoning. So maybe not. Maybe they're just riding around looking for more coffee. I don't know.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, they would go to the next town to find more fucking coffee. Jesus. Oh my god, if they'd have done that, I'd have just shot myself. I'd have been like, I'm never watching another movie again.
Well, where should we go now? Let's go to Colombia. They got a lot of coffee.
Let's drive in this orange hatchback.
Yeah, the sequel to this movie could have been straight to Colombia.
So I wonder if this guy Alex Cox, if he was allowed to make more movies after this, or if they're, if people were like, "You're done, buddy."
I don't recall hearing that he did anything else other than the director's cut thing. Beyond that,
okay, you know what? It says he also had something to do with Sid and Nancy, director and writer of Sid and Nancy. Okay, so maybe he was banging Courtney Love at one point.
Did he have a small moment of lucidity? Is that what happened? Because Sid and Nancy wasn't that bad. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't anything like Repo Man or Straight to Hell. I do remember they had like dream sequences or fucking fantasy sequences or whatever in Sid and Nancy. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but like the My Way part where he's singing My Way.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely weird.
He wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Huh.
He was replaced as director on that movie.
It makes you wonder how many changes were made.
In 2009, there's a movie called Repo Chick.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay.
What did it star Courtney Love?
Dare I click on Repo Chick right now?
I double dog dare you.
I don't see Courtney Love's name in the credits. But I see Rosanna Arquette.
Yes, Darius.
All right, this guy Alex Cox, he's a weirdo. So. Probably touches kids. I'm just kidding, Alex Cox. Don't try to sue me. I know you've done 10 movies over a 40-year span.
Yeah, don't sue him, but I'm pretty sure you were working with James Gunn at some point.
You're a heavy hitter, Alex Cox.
He's a heavy hitter.
The picture I saw of him, it's insane that you said that because he looks like an older version of James Gunn, bro.
I'm telling you what, he's a heavy hitter as long as they're under 3'3". Repo Man meets Legally Blonde.
The thing I just looked at on Wikipedia did look like fucking Legally Blonde. Yes. So, the war with the Banditos. Let's wrap that up, I guess.
It needed to be wrapped up, and it probably should have been wrapped up a lot sooner in this film because it really did extend for an incredibly ridiculous amount of time. Like, people were getting shot about like 15, 20 times, and they're still crawling around like as if they're playing.
He gets shot with his own machine gun.
Yeah.
Really gets shot with his own machine gun, and he's still alive. He's still alive until Joe Strummer kills him. Spoiler.
And they're still crawling around on the game or on the floor or on the ground like it's Fortnite. Like
Yeah,
they're looking to get resurrected or something.
they make it to where they buried the money, and then there's the big, betrayal. There's like 4 betrayals, right? Isn't there like 4 betrayals in a row?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he betrays his friend, shoots him, and then Courtney Love walks up and shoots him.
Yeah, Courtney Love walks up with the boss hog of the McMahon family. The one who I thought for a minute was Ned Beatty. And I was like, no, that's not Ned Beatty. Like, I don't think Ned Beatty would be hanging out with a bunch of rock stars and be like, yeah, we'll make a movie since this fucking concert failed.
And somebody betrayed the boss man because they took the brakes out in the car.
Yeah, and they go off the fucking cliff.
And the Hollywood movie exploded. You know what the funny part is? After the car hits the bottom and it's burning,
She's
they got
still
like
screaming.
they got like the fake doll moving back and forth like it's her screaming in the seat.
She's still screaming. She's actually still screaming while that car's fucking burning.
This is my big moment.
And then all right, so.
Oh well, we almost forgot about the brother of the assistant to Dade.
Yeah, when they show up in town and they get into the gunfight with them.
Yeah, he joins the side of the Banditos, and then he asks the poem guy, "Oh, I've heard about you in your poems." And he's like, "Oh, would you like to hear it?" Yeah. And as he goes to get it out of his shirt pocket to read, he shoots him in the back of the head.
And then stuffs the poem in his fucking mouth. Did you see that when he walked away? He fucking does like $1 Million Man with the $100 bills.
Yep. So then you also have the betrayal with the wife and the shopkeeper, where she pulls down that latch of freaking the pants and everything.
And it fucking and she Kevin McAllister's his ass. And all right, so the survivors are her, Cy Richardson, and a couple of girls from the Bandito gang.
Mm-hmm.
And then they drive off and get stuck in the desert again.
Well, hold on. Right before
Oh wait, we forgot about the hot dog guy.
Well, yeah, the hot dog guy got killed when
The
he tried
hot
to
dog
join
guy
them.
comes to the bank robbers and he's like, "You guys have made me realize I gotta stand up." He gives this big speech like, "You guys help me. I realize I gotta stand up for myself." All this blah 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 blah.
But I may not be good, really great, but I don't quit.
Yeah. And the bank robbers just fucking annihilate him.
And let's not forget about the last part with Jesus, what'd you say Cy's name again?
God damn it.
Well, anyway, him and the shopkeeper's wife.
Woodward.
Huh?
Woodward. Norwood.
There it is, Norwood. So Norwood and the shopkeeper's wife are standing behind the building, but the Bandito coffeeholics had burned it down. So they're like, yeah, we got them now. And then they're like, they say something, and they behind the burned ruins of the building as it collapses is Norwood and the shopkeeper's wife. So the Bandito coffeeholics are getting ready to mow them down. And then the shopkeeper's skeleton pops up out of the debris with the M60 and blows them all away.
All right, so the town is cursed. Is that what it is?
It would almost make you think so. But there's so little story to back anything up that's going on.
I'm saying this could be like the Swerve, how it goes from bank robbers to vampire bar and from dusk till dawn. Like
what is the thread that ties it all together though?
coffee.
There's coffee. It starts off with him handing everybody a cup of coffee when they're at the hotel.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that was the only common thread in this movie was coffee. So
I didn't even
apparently,
realize.
Cox must have been having the jitters from all night drug binges and was drinking a lot of coffee at the time to try to get through everything. So this whole movie wound up being his love for coffee. That's the only thing I could make sense out of it. That's the only
That's
way I
also
could make
why he
sense
was
out of
only
it.
allowed to be involved with 10 movies in like fucking 40 years. I guess.
He was like freaking Tweak from South Park.
Yeah, he probably is the real life version. So, all right. Overall,
Oh, well, don't.
what do you
What
got
about
to
the?
say?
Hold on.
Say
The
about
very end. The very end. So the only two townspeople left after all the killings
the
left
stupid,
still in the town.
the stupid boy who can't
The
talk
boy Undertaker and his partner, and they've got a pickup truck loaded with bodies.
dead bodies. Yeah.
And well, who's going to pay for all this? As the signs are going up for, I guess, Dade's new visionment of the town.
So, overall, what? All right. Would you watch this movie again? Would you suggest this movie to anybody to watch? And what did you think of it?
I don't know. If I really don't
Rating.
like you, I would suggest you watch this movie over and over again just to get the full experience. If you want to just laugh at something that is absolutely ridiculous, watch this movie. If you question your sanity, you should definitely watch this movie. If you like good entertainment, if you like good entertainment, stay the hell away from this one.
Would you
This
suggest would you suggest doing a fistful of drugs before watching this movie?
I don't know if I would suggest that, but it may help. I mean, if you want to if you're the type of person that just likes to pluck random mushrooms off your lawn and eat them for possibly some kind of psychedelic effect, you should definitely watch this movie.
If you lick toads. I'm surprised nobody licked a toad in this fucking movie.
If you like Tide Pods and washing it down with ammonia and bleach, you should definitely watch this movie.
What would be your rating for this?
I would like to give this one a negative 0.06.
Would you say this is the worst movie that I've done so far?
I wouldn't say, you know what, and this is really sad to say, no, this is not the worst because at least it had some elements in it that are actually kind of fun. There are some elements that are kind of fun. And you know what? You can have a really good laugh at the pitiful acting and non-scriptedness. So there is something enjoyable for anybody to watch this movie, but no, we've seen a lot worse than this. This one still doesn't hold a candle to the Cocaine Ninjas. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I would say Miami Connection's better than this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Cocaine Ninjas were 10 times better than this. This doesn't hold a candle. This does not hold a candle to the Cocaine Ninjas.
I thought you were saying Miami Connection was worse than this for a second. I would say Driller Killer is worse than this. I'd say I would rather watch this again than Driller Killer.
Oh God, Driller Killer was horrible.
Even though we didn't see much of the killing scenes in Driller Killer because of the stupid copy I had, but
okay, I'll be nice. I will take back the 0.06 and I will give this movie 2 flushes.
I would give this movie a question mark. That's gonna be my final rating for this fucking movie. A fucking question mark. Because
you question your sanity. You question why you sat all the way through it.
I question
You
how the
question.
fucking movie was released.
You question your life choices. You question me for having watched this to do a review with you. You question everybody in the chat. Listen to us talk about this questionable movie.
I might give it 3 question marks.
Oh, wait a minute. You got to give it a 4th because I made my brother sit through this too. I wasn't going alone. I wasn't going down by myself.
You get 4 question marks. If I was like writing for a paper back in the day when this movie came out, my review of it would be, huh? That would be it. HUH. End review.
This one gets a solid 2 Brie Larson furry toes.
It's 2 dirty Sasquatch toes.
And 1 bunion. Blech.
Yeah. I don't know if the movie I'm gonna watch next week is any better because I've seen it before and it's pretty fucking stupid. Next week we're doing No Retreat, No Surrender. You gonna be here for that one, Tommy?
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen it before?
I have seen it before. A long time ago. That was back in the old watching almost anything, including every Canon film out there.
You know what? I don't know if it's a canon film. Seems like it would be a canon film.
It feels like one.
Yeah. But all right. I'll see. Peace out to the chat. Darius, of course, thanks for coming through, and hopefully you can make it through next week for No Retreat, No Surrender. Bone, Sentinel, and thank you guys. Stony One, name I hadn't seen in a fucking long time.
A name I have not seen in a long time. Long time.
Thank you guys coming through. We talk about shitty movies that nobody even fucking really even knows of. I still have no idea how I came about this movie. I think I might have came across it because of Rock and Roll High School. Another stupid fucking movie. If anyone's ever seen that one. You ever seen that one?
I think I've seen parts of it. I've seen another really bad movie recently, and it was so bad I cannot remember the name of it, but it was horrible. Oh, I remember now. And I've actually had a few people question my decision to call this one a bad movie. It was a Traumaville movie. Poultrygeist.
Yeah, this must be like the 500th time you've brought that movie up to me.
I've heard a couple of people say they really like it. I couldn't stand it, like all the musical numbers and everything in it. It just drove me absolutely insane. I didn't know if I was watching a trauma movie. I didn't know if I was watching Hair. I didn't understand what it was.
It's a fucking musical?
It's got a lot of musical numbers in it. A lot of them.
Jesus. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to hang on it if it was just a straight up cheesy, like, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space type, I can't deal with musical.
You know what? I would watch a musical like The Wiz over and over again before I ever watch Poultrygeist again.
I don't think I'd be able to hang on a musical horror. I really don't think so. Is Rock and Roll High School on Tubi?
It probably is. I mean, they have a lot of stuff on Tubi.
I mean, I watched it a while back on someone actually put it on YouTube.
Yeah, banging the cash registers. Oh Jesus, that shit was so stupid.
Oh, this fucking movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, bro. Tommy, what you got coming up, brother?
I know I'm going to be hanging on, or should be hanging on Vinny's tomorrow for his Sunday roundtable stream. Monday, I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing on Monday. I don't know if Monday's just going to be another chill and hang out and chat day, or if I'm going to do some BattleBot stuff. But I mean, I've got a whole lot of things in the work right now. Eventually, I'm going to have a live tournament for the battle box. Is actually going to be like a championship tournament, but before we get there, I've got to build up with matches to decide the rankings for all the bots. So I mean, that's something that I'm getting ready to work on this coming weekend, probably into part of next week, because it takes time to film all these damn things. And then we'll do the championship thing, and then eventually I am working on getting enough good material together to eventually bring back going old school. I'd like to try to do that once a month, or maybe once every other month. I want to have a special going old school. So that'd be a lot of fun, but I want to make sure it's absolutely the best going old school show that I can put on, because I really love that show. It's pretty much my flagship show that I started with. I mean, that was my show when I began doing all this stuff live. And when I do that show, I want it to be as fun as it could possibly be for everybody involved.
Good looking for throwing out the link, Darius.
Thank you, Darius. Now Pig just needs to get watch hours that YouTube keeps wanting to suck away with a straw, because they're so highly offended by everything.
Yeah, thanks for joining me tonight, brother.
No, this was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad that you were back finally. Finally, we got Selection back in this album.
Back, motherfucker. Rejoice. So, I'm going to keep the shit train rolling when it comes to these fucking movies nobody talks about.
I bet you'd like us to pull a shit train movie on you.
a movie about a literal shit train? Imagine a movie about a literal shit train. It's made of shit.
They could call it the Tunnel of Love. Oh, Jesus.
But yeah. Next week, No Retreat, No Surrender. Starring very early in his career, Van Damme, but he's not the star of it. Some little bitch ass kid's the star of it. All right. Thanks, brother.
No, thank you.
All right.
And thank you to everybody in chat.
Yeah, thanks, chat. Have a good one. Back next week.